Another key point here is that from the very northern part of the plant where it says external vault, all the way down to where it says sludge storage tanks, south pump station, I'm sorry, is interconnected with tunnels and basements. Those are equipment tunnels and equipment basements. So I probably don't have to tell you that the major damage came from the flooding of those basements. So just kind of take a quick look. We'll be talking and showing pictures in different areas of the plant, from the secondary through the secondary digesters to the primary access tunnel, and then down in the screen and grid area. I just want to say, as an intro, Department of Environmental Facilities is the county's environmental agency. In addition to wastewater, we also have a division for clean water. We have two county water districts, a solid waste division, and a recycling division. I'm most intimately involved with the wastewater. The wastewater division consists of 13 sewer districts, 7 wastewater plants, 43 pump stations, which aren't shown, and 2 overflow retention facilities. 4 of the facilities are on Long Island Sound. The other 3 are on the Hudson River. The one we're talking about today in Yonkers is right on the line with the Bronx. I'm just going to go through a series of photos and talk about these photos. This picture is taken around the administration building at about 11:45 a.m. It almost looks like evening. You can't see the Palisades, which are usually easily visible. You can see the white camps going to the north in the river. So the wind's really blowing here. It is raining a little bit, but it's just a sign of things to come. This photo was taken from the admin building out into the parking lot. It's about just before 8 o'clock at night. Now, not knowing anything else, just let me ask you, anybody, why is the parking lot filling up when it's not raining? Storm surge from where? Okay, everybody's got storm. When it does rain, we have to have sewers to carry the rain out into the river. That's the main access for the river back into the treatment plant, is through the storm sewers. So there's nothing avoidable here, nothing we can really do. The river is coming up and the water's coming in through the storm drains. This picture is only taken about 25 minutes later. It's up to the concrete step, entering into the admin building. This is a picture, this is a primary access tunnel. It goes from the northern part of the facility to the southern part. It's just starting to take on some water, but you can see there's some equipment in there, there's lighting, maybe you see the conduits, a lot of infrastructure in the ceilings, some pumps in case they do flood. We do get water in here, those sump pumps are supposed to pump the water out. This is our administration building lobby. It's almost 11 o'clock. By this point in time, we made the conscious decision to cut the Con Ed power. The power coming into the plant is 13,600 volts. It's on it's not in an upstairs room. So you know what happens when the water hits that switchgear. It's not that it fizzles and pops a little bit, as it get explosions and fires. So rather than risk that, we made the decision to go off the grid. The reason there's some lighting in the admin building is we have an emergency generator just for that purpose. It's called the lighting generator. You can see the water coming through the doors, running across. Luckily, the ultimate height of the water got up around here. So we didn't have any of those window curtain walls fail, but the water's running down into the basement, and now our basements are flooded. So that primary equipment tunnel you saw is underwater. Everything in it is underwater. In addition, Some chemical tanks in the basement were ruptured. They were lifted by the pressure of the water. This happens to be a chemical called polymer. It's a mess. One of the remediations that we're going to do is move these tanks and all this equipment up to ground floor. We did suffer a little bit of structural damage. There was that wall had a door leading into a basement. The water was on the right side and just collapsed that wall. Another lesson learned is that all our lubricating oil depots were in the basements near the equipment. When the basement's filled up, all the lubricating oil got mixed in with the water, and you can see that's what all this is. It's oil. So everything down in this basement is oil coated. So those are going to, in the future, be moved upstairs. This was an old control room, totally underwater. It hadn't really been used in about 15 or 20 years, but there were critical systems that still run through this room. So about a month later, when we started having problems with emergency generators not starting, we traced it back into this room. So one of the lessons to that is when normally you would just abandon in place equipment, old wiring, things like that, is we have to think about that in the future. It's not to just abandon in place, it can come back and haunt you. These doors were buckled by the water pressure. The left door is you're in front of the door. Behind the door, you're in that secondary digester basement. This is about halfway through there. You can see the pumps. All that stuff was flooded. And what's odd is looking up into the ceiling, that's a piece of 2x8 that's normally used as a step to get up and look at a pump. So we know the water got up at least that high and then settled back down. In the aeration gallery, this is a cleanup effort going on, and also these guys are removing all the pipe insulation. So from north to south, all those pipe tunnels are full of pipes that are insulated. That insulated is not only saturated, but you're talking about salty water on steel pipe. So all that had to be stripped off, cleaned. We did a lot of defungiciding, spraying mold inhibitor, and now we have a contract that to replace all the insulation on all the pipes. That came in a little over $500,000. Since this is the Long Island Sound Conference, I got a picture of the Mamaroneck wastewater plant. They were not flooded, but these two gentlemen are standing at the point where the water came up to. That's the back gate into the plant. That gate was closed, barricaded, sandbagged. At the back of the plant, there's the high water line. It's actually spray painted on the building, and I extended it so you can see it. So the water did come right up to the plant and partially went around that plant.